The United States House of Representatives just unanimously passed a bill making it a federal crime to abuse an animal. And while that's all fine, well, and good, this same House, under Democratic leadership, still refuses to take up a bill that would mandate medical care for human babies born alive following a botched abortion. Because apparently kicking a dog is worthy of jail time, but leaving a living, breathing infant to die alone in a closet is no big deal. The House just passed a bill making cruelty to animals a federal crime punishable by hefty fines and up to 7 years in prison. Now, while previous law only provided felony charges for animal cruelty when a person filmed or distributed footage of organized animal fighting, according to this new Preventing Animal Cruelty and Torture, or PACT Act, a person can now be prosecuted at the federal level for crushing, burning, drowning, suffocating, impaling, and or sexually abusing or exploiting animals. The only exception to this rule is hunting. And in response to this bill's passing, Humane Society Legislative Fund President Sarah Amundson said these malicious acts deserve federal scrutiny and attention. Federal prosecutors and law enforcement officials will finally have the tools they need to bring those responsible for cruelty to animals to justice. Now, at the same time, House Democrats, under the leadership of House Speaker Nancy Pelosi, have blocked the GOP's Born Alive Infant Protection Act from getting a vote 69 times over the course of 6 months as of mid-July. The bill would fill gaps in current federal law by requiring that doctors provide the same level of medical care for a baby born alive after a failed attempt at abortion as they would for any other child of the same age, and would mandate under penalty of jail time that they transport that child to the nearest hospital for further treatment. Failure to comply would carry a punishment of up to 5 years in prison. That's 2 years less than the House's new animal cruelty bill. Now look, I'm all for protecting animals against abuse. In fact, what I think should be done to people who are found guilty of torturing animals would probably get me banned from this and every other social media platform. But how is it that the United States Congress has the moral fortitude to protect puppies and kittens, but an abortionist can poison a living preborn infant with a heartbeat, and then, if that weren't bad enough, can deliver that child alive, lay it on a table, and let it die without medical assistance? And apparently House Democrats think that this is perfectly acceptable. And don't give me some song and dance about how this doesn't happen. It happens all the time, and it's well documented. Registered nurse Jill Stanek testified before Congress that she herself held an aborted baby born alive for 45 minutes until he died because she couldn't bear the thought of him being dumped in the hospital's soiled utility room to take his last breath alone.
He'd been aborted because he had Down syndrome, and he was between 21 and 22 weeks old, about the size of my hand. And he didn't move very much because he was using all of his energy attempting to breathe. And I remember toward the end of his life, I couldn't tell if he was alive or not unless I held him up against the light to see if I could see his heart beating through his chest wall because their skin is so thin at that age.
According to her testimony, other babies, including ones old enough to have been given life-saving medical treatment, have been left alone on counters, thrown in the garbage, or at the very best, held by some compassionate but helpless nurse for hours because no one's willing to help them and there's no law that says they have to. And Stanek's not alone. Countless abortion clinic workers have testified to watching babies die after being denied treatment, including some babies who were born in the 3rd trimester. The CDC reports at least 143 cases of born alive infant death that could be definitively classified as involving an induced termination that occurred between 2003 and 2014. The Heritage Foundation notes that in 2017 alone, Florida reported 11 infants were born alive following an abortion. 6 were born in 2018. Arizona reported that in 2017, 10 babies were born alive. In Minnesota, there were 3. And those are just 3 states. Others don't even keep track. How sick is this? While House Democrats are willing to throw down in support of defending yellow labs and calicos, but won't even consider defending babies? But mark my words, any person convicted of torturing animals deserves whatever we feel like throwing at them. But a society that can see the inherent value in a dog, but not in the life of an innocent child, deserves far worse. And that's your Reality Check, America. Make sure that you like us on Facebook and Twitter, subscribe to us on YouTube, and stay sane out there.